Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another My HR Toolkit training webinar. My name's Simon. I am the sales and support team leader for My HR Toolkit. You are very welcome on this webinar. A couple of things before we get going. If it's your first webinar with us, then why not drop us a little message in the chat just to say hello, that it's your first webinar. You're very welcome with us. And we know that we've got some names here of people who've joined us on pretty much all the webinars that we've done recently. So a welcome back to you too. Today, we are going to cover holidays from start to finish. In a moment, I am going to hand over to my colleague, Chris. He's part of our customer relationship team. He's going to take you through the holiday system. We're going to show you various parts of that, and I'll explain a little bit about what he's going to cover in just a moment. But just before we do that, we just want to flag up to you that there is a Q&A section at the end of this webinar. Those of you that have joined us on our webinars before, you know how if you use the Q&A section, just drop your questions in there and we'll answer those at the end of this session. There's also a chat box. If you want to have a chat with people, feel free to do that. We're not going to restrict you on there. But if you've got any questions, just drop them in the Q&A. Now, while Chris gets his screen ready, I am going to tell you what he's going to cover. So today we're going to look at holiday settings and permissions. We're going to go through managing holiday requests, take a look into holiday entitlements. We'll look at holiday carrying forward or carry forward, and then also holidays in lieu. And of course, we will round off with the reports, as we do with every feature of the system. As I mentioned, we'll have a Q&A section at the end, but I'm going to hand over to Chris now, who will take you through the holiday section.
Okay, thank you, Simon, for the introduction. So, as Simon's mentioned, today's webinar will be focused on looking at holidays from start to finish. We're going to cover all the main features the toolkit has for dealing with holidays. The areas we will cover are holiday settings, managing holiday requests, holiday entitlements, carrying forward holidays in lieu, and holiday reports. So before we take a look at managing the holiday requests, we're going to run through some of the settings related to holidays that you can make as a controller on your toolkit. So we're going to start by looking at holiday managers and groups. Now in this section, you can create holiday groups and then allocate authorizing holiday managers who will receive email notifications of any holiday requests. So in the toolkit, we're going to go into the config area, go to access rights, we're going to go to holiday managers and groups. So when you open this page, if you've got any employees that have got access to the system but aren't currently allocated to a holiday group, then it's going to be displayed here at the top. So if you get that option, just click on here to list those employees, and you can see you've then got a list of employees there. So we've got two colleagues here which are in the accounts department, but they don't currently belong to a holiday group. So we're just going to create a holiday group. So it's very simple. Enter the name of the new holiday group and click on Add Holiday Group. So you can see now that that holiday group has appeared underneath that group name. So the next stage is, so we've got the holiday group set up. We now need to add members to that holiday group. So you click on the Add Members. It's going to bring you up a list of all the employees which you have at the company. Now you can also see if there are any employees that aren't allocated to holiday group, because there will be a blank here in the last column. Okay, so we're going to add the employees from that one. So we're just going to select both of them, click Submit, and then they'll now be members of this employee holiday group. So now they're set up. We need to allocate a manager who's going to be responsible for authorizing and responding any holiday requests which they have. So we're just going to click on Add Managers. Again, it brings up a list of the employees at the company. So we're just going to select one employee, click Submit. As you can see, he's now a manager to that group. So that holiday group is now complete. Now, just a couple of tips, a couple of notes, if you like, on holiday management groups. So if you're going to manage a holiday group, do not add yourself to that holiday group as a member. Employees can also be holiday managers as well. Now this is because they do not actually require access to the management dashboard in order to be a holiday manager. Employees could also be set to self-authorize holidays as well, which means they wouldn't need to be included as part of a holiday group. So as just mentioned, in a self-authorizing holiday section, you as a controller can give any employee the right to decide when they will have holiday for themselves without any additional approval. So in other words, they are trusted to allocate holiday to themselves without having to get authorization from any other employee. So this setting could be suitable for people in your organization, people like directors of a business, for example, who would typically manage their holidays. So it's very simple. Click on this section, list of your employees is displayed, and if you want to select a manager, put a tick in the box, click submit, then they'll now be set to authorize their own holidays. The holidays would still appear in the calendar as normal, they just wouldn't go through the same approval process as a typical holiday request would. Okay, so now we're going to look at the two-stage holiday approval setting. So we're going to come out of access rights and we're going to go to system and then holiday. So in this section, you can add an additional stage to the holiday approval process if you require different levels of authorization for any holiday requests you receive from employees. So the default option here is to one stage. Simply going to click that to two stage, click on update approval of holiday request. You can see it flashes up on the screen. So it says, if you switch to a two-stage holiday approval process, you'll need to make sure your holiday groups have both the first and second stage holiday managers assigned to them. So we've noted that. We're going to proceed with the approval. Then we're just going to quickly go back into access rights, holiday management groups. And you can see here that that's what that note was relating to. So there are no currently holiday managers. So in order to complete this holiday group, I just need to select the second holiday manager. So select holiday manager, click submit. As you can see, that holiday group is now complete. And just so you know, I mean, the only real change from first stage approval to second stage approval is that after the request for a holiday has been submitted, the user will then be notified that it would need to pass through two managers before gaining approval. Okay, so we're now going to look at the process of managing holiday requests in a bit more detail. So we'll just check the management message board. You can see we've got an incoming holiday request here. So we're just going to view that request, and you can see all the details that we've become accustomed to when receiving holiday requests. So you can see the date the request was made and who it's from, the from, to, and total number of days off for that holiday request as well. So you could then accept or decline that request. However, as you'll know from using the toolkit, we have some tools that you can use for help checking employee availability before you accept or decline a holiday request. So we're going to start by looking at the calendar. So you might want to check the calendar to see if any other employees from that employee's team or department or location have also got any time booked off around the time that they're looking to take some annual leave. Now, just while we're on the calendar, just to kind of reiterate or just to kind of go over, explain a little bit about how the calendar works in general and how that ties into the different levels of access that you have on the toolkit. So from an employee's point of view, you have the base level of access. They have a stripped down version of the calendar in their My Home area, and they can only see holidays. Managers can see information, holidays and information for the employees which fall under the teams they manage, but controllers can see everything. So they can see all holidays, toil, general absence, sickness absence, and training records. And with regard to the employee's access to the calendar, this is actually something which you can turn off as well. So quickly show you how to do this. So you go to config, because it's a change we're making to the system, we click on system, we open up calendar, and you can see here there's a simple toggle setting. Would you like the employees to be able to view the calendar? I've got it set to yes, but if you wanted to set that to no, click that setting, then click on update there, and that would make that setting change. Okay, so we'll just go back on to the calendar. So you as a controller can set up something called a calendar alert. So I'm highlighting the calendar alert example that I've got here. It's this green box. used an example as an annual company meeting. So a calendar alert is basically a day of note, and you as a controller can set these up. So it could be something like a company shutdown day, or a stock take, for example, any kind of significant day that you'd really prefer if employees didn't request any leave on those days. Once you've set those up, it doesn't actually prevent an employee from requesting leave on those dates. But if they do go to make a request, then they'll be able to clearly see on a system that there is a calendar alert there. And also when the holiday request goes through to the holiday manager for approval, they'll also be able to see that there is a calendar alert on there as well. And it's very, very simple to set these up. So we're going to go back to the config area, system, calendar. Then you can see here, calendar alerts. You just click on add calendar alert. You set the name for the calendar alert. You can select the date field from and to, select a color, and click on add calendar alert. And then that will be displayed in the calendar. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at the holiday request history section. So in this area, this section will show any previous requests, and it's filterable across all the locations and the departments that you have. And you'll see a lot of detail on here. So for example, the calendar alert example we just looked through, you can see here that that calendar alert has been displayed against that employee's request for that particular time period. And you can also see other information as well. So you can see the message that was sent relating to that holiday request, the date the response was sent, if ever that's questioned. And you could also see confirmation of the decision status relating to that individual holiday request. So you can also manually add a holiday. It's not always about waiting to receive a request from an employee. As an employee's holiday manager, you can actually add a holiday for an employee in the employee holiday date section, and it's super straightforward. Click on the from, to, add the total number of days off, and you click submit. And I'm showing you this in the management section, but this is also something that you can do from within the employee file sections as well. So when we're in management, we're really looking at how we manage our workforce, our staff, our employees as part of a team. But if you prefer to do things where possible from an individual basis, then you can do that in the employee file section. So you click on an employee. It's relating to holidays, so we're just going to click on the holidays tab, and you can see here you've got the similar screen so we just saw. So it's very straightforward. If you want to add the from and the to date, total number of days off, and then you can manually submit a holiday request for that employee. Now, while we're on this screen, it's also a really quick and easy way of checking an employee's holiday allocation, including a check on their outstanding entitlement. And at the bottom as well, you've got a complete record of any holiday requests which have been made within the current holiday year. So this complete record includes everything. So it includes any holidays which have been manually added by the employee's holiday manager, any requests which have been made and been accepted by the employee's holiday manager. It includes any requests which have been made and actually been declined by the employee's holiday manager. And finally, it also includes any requests which have been made by the employee, been accepted or approved by the holiday manager, but later have been withdrawn by the employee. Then just a quick note on holiday request withdrawals. So it may be that after a holiday is booked and approved, an employee wishes to withdraw a holiday request. If this happens, a request to withdraw will appear on both your message board and in the outstanding holiday request section. And as with a holiday booking, there are options to accept or decline with confirmation details that can be posted as necessary. Okay, so next I want to explain a little bit and show you how you can manage holidays in the mobile app as well. Before I do that, just please note that the mobile access does not work for employees who are set to variable hours. They can only view or book their holidays by using the main system. So employees using the mobile app can see their holiday entitlement, whether they have any holidays booked for the future, and make and revise any holiday requests that they have. Managers using a mobile app can manage holiday requests made by members of their team as they come in real time from wherever they are. Okay, so we're just going to log out of the main version of the toolkit. So we're logged out of the main system. We click on log in. Now, as you might be aware, typically you're probably used to logging into this area here. So this is the area of the toolkit you can log in if you're using a desktop or a laptop. But this is for the mobile version here. So if you're using a smartphone or a tablet, for example, you can log in here. This will take you through to the mobile version. Just wait for that screen to load. Here we go. Okay, so we're just going to log into the mobile version. Okay, so to the home area of the mobile version, for those of you that haven't seen it before, obviously it looks very different. There's two main features in the mobile version. There's the employee directory here. There's also the holiday feature. Now, what we're interested in for the purpose of this webinar is we're looking at how you manage holidays. So you can see there's a quick tab here, it says manage holidays, as you have 3 requests, and it says one person you manage is on leave today. So we're going to click on manage holidays. So there's 2 tabs within manage holidays. The first tab that you see is a holidays snapshot. So this will show you any employees which are on holiday today or have got any annual leave which is due to take place in the near future. So it gives you a snapshot of what's going on for your employees. If we click on the review request tab, now this is very similar to what it is in the main site. So you can action request from the mobile version exactly the same way as you can when you're using the main site. So click on that action request. So you still get all the same details. So you can see who sent the request, the from, to, and total number of days off for that request. You can see here as well, you've also got some additional information because the toolkit's recognized that there could be an overlapping holiday for another member of that team. Then you can decline or accept that request as usual. Okay, so just go to log out of the mobile version, go straight back in to the toolkit. The next stage we're going to have a look at is holiday entitlements. I'm going to explain a little bit about how these work. So we'll click on holiday entitlements. So best way to describe holiday entitlements is that each user or each employee that you have has their own unique holiday account. So you can set employees up or users of the toolkit, whether they're on 0 or variable hours, whether they're part-time or full-time. You can set the holiday units to record in days or hours, and you can decide whether bank holidays are included or excluded as part of their entitlement. And when you enter that information in for an employee, then the toolkit is going to automatically calculate their annual leave entitlement summary for you. So for example, if you've got a new starter at the company, you enter that information in, the toolkit will calculate their annual leave entitlement summary. They'll actually pro-rata it for the remainder of the current holiday year. And that also works well the other way. So if you've got anybody that's due to leave the organisation, the toolkit is going to automatically calculate an outgoing annual leave entitlement summary as well. A user's entitlement can be changed. If you're looking at adding or amending holiday entitlement, it can be changed in 2 ways, and that depends on whether the change is an amendment to an existing entitlement or a new entitlement. So a new entitlement example would be through promotion. So adding a new entitlement, so you select the relevant employee and against the relevant employee's record, you simply enter the date you'd like the new entitlement to start. So for example, if you wanted a new entitlement to start today, select that date, click on submit, make any changes that you need to their holiday entitlement, and then click on submit. The changes will then be reflected in the user's entitlement record. In terms of amending an entitlement, it's very similar to adding an entitlement, and it's initiated by clicking the relevant amend links on the employee's record. So instead of date changes effective from, you click on amend, takes you through to the same screen, update your employee's entitlement and click submit. and those changes will be then saved on the toolkit. Okay, so the toolkit also provides functionality for managing what happens when untaken leave is carried forward into the next holiday year. And it's very simple to use. So you find the relevant employee that you need to do some holiday in lieu or carried over for. So you just select whether it's holiday in lieu, carried over. You add the amount in. Typically, this will be days if you've got it set up in days. And then you click submit. But before you click submit, strongly advise that you add a note in this section. The reason for that, it'll help you remember the reason for any holiday in lieu or carried over that you've entered for an employee as a reference point. When, at the time you're doing it, it may be very obvious, but if you need to come back and look at this information retrospectively, it will be a useful prompt if you have a reason for why that holiday in lieu or carried over holiday was allocated. Okay, the final area that we're going to look at today is the reporting, the holiday reporting that's available in the toolkit. So you can access the reports in two ways, either from the holiday area and choosing holiday reports like I've just shown you, or from the main reports area, then click on holiday reports. Now, as you can see, there are 3 holiday reports available. There's the holiday entitlement report, remaining holiday entitlement report, and a toil report. So as an example, I'm going to show you the remaining holiday entitlement report. So you'd use this report to check the remaining holiday entitlement that you have for each of your employees. And you can see that here, outstanding entitlement on the last day of the month. So for the top employee, you can see John Bartley, you can see there's 16 days there. Now you can use the filters that we have on these reports, so you can look at previous or the next holiday year if you want to. You can also filter down by different months to get a snapshot of their holiday entitlement for different parts of the year. So we're going to flip that back to January 20. You can see that information will update, and you can see there it's changed to 19 days. So it reflects the outstanding entitlement on the last day of the month for the time period selected. So this report, the outstanding holiday entitlement report, this report shows all holidays that have either been taken or have been booked. Okay, so that covers the areas for today. I'd like to thank everyone for their time and for listening. And just a quick reminder that as with any feature within the toolkit, there is a support area for holidays. So if you see this question mark area, if you've got a query and need an answer, then you're likely to find the answer within the online guide. However, if you need further support, then Monday to Friday, 9 AM to 5 PM, please call our support line, and the number is on the right-hand side of our homepage. Alternatively, you can use this button here, so the question mark support button at the top of the page. If you complete that, then it's going to submit a support ticket, which will go straight through to our support team, and we'll aim to respond to you there.